Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Coffee With. I'm your host, Christopher Evans, and today we're going to be talking about workforce development with our friend Simon Arias, president of Arias Agencies. Wow, do I have this right? 11 offices across 4 states?
5 states.
5 states?
Yes, sir.
How did you guys grow this business so successfully?
I think it really goes back to just people. And so I think that we just have been blessed with some very, very great people, which has allowed us to expand, a lot.
So you were promoted at a pretty young age, and you're still young, and to be president of this company. How did you get that opportunity, and how were you able to capitalize on it and become president of such a successful business at a young age?
Yeah, so at 24 years old, I was given the opportunity to open up my first office in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which ironically is where I ended up meeting my wife. And so if that was the only reason why I came here, I would have been happy with that. But we started off in just a really small space up in Wexford area. There was probably 800 square feet, just a little small with 3 people. And now over going on 9 years, we've expanded to about 300 representatives in those five different states, and over 80,000 square feet typically right now. But I think it's just again, it goes back to being blessed with great people.
Talking about great people, how do you maintain the culture of the company as you grow incrementally as such?
It starts with everybody knowing what is your vision, what is your mission, and then staying true to that, culture. One of our top producers is, in her 60s and a grandmother, but it's made up of a lot of people with athletic background and a lot of sports background. So we've kind of kept that feel. It's a family atmosphere, team, camaraderie, music being played, people excited to be there on Monday. And so I think if everybody knows the vision and the mission, the bigger we get, the bigger impact that we could make in each community that we serve in. And so the founder of this company, Bernard Rappaport, who is now passed, one of my favorite sayings that he used to tell us is, if you're going to take out of a community, you have to make sure that you continue to put back into that community. And so the larger that we grow, the larger impact, that we'll be able to have when we serve, those people in that community.
So it sounds like a pretty heavy sales-driven culture. It's one thing to be a great salesperson individually. It's another to hire and retain and mentor great salespeople. What do you think your key is as the leader of the company?
So I think it boils down to your training, creating a system to where you can plug and play, so to speak, that if you could take someone from any atmosphere, whether it's a teacher, teachers have had success, or a chef, or somebody from a completely different place, and plug them into this system. And if you follow this system, we know what the outcome is going to be.
So you played high school and college football.
Yep.
And you talked a little bit about the athletic culture in the company. Mm-hmm. What do you think you learned from football that you're still carrying forward today?
So the unique experience of playing college football was having 2 full-time jobs. It was, being a student and having to maintain a certain GPA and going to class and free time, but you have to still study, but then being a Division II athlete, there was a lot of training and videotape, that you had to watch. And so when you combine those things, I think, you're probably putting in 70, 80-hour work weeks for free. And so coming out of college, the work ethic kept with me that I learned from being a student/athlete, because, I think one of the biggest secrets, so to speak, was just the initial upfront work ethic of 70, 80, hours pouring in, and it was really nothing different than what I was used to. And the other thing would be teamwork. It was different because it was people from all over, not just one community, not just one area, but people were different. So I went from a city atmosphere to some of my best friends were from the country and hunted and had, deer hanging, from their house
diversity.
in tractors,
Yeah, right.
And so it helped me balance and get used to working as a team with people from all different walks of life, all different facets of life, and that helped a lot in the transition into business.
You talk a little bit about the work ethic here in Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh is the headquarters for your company, despite the reach you have outside of the state. Youngstown's pretty hot too. There are a lot of really exciting things going on out there with the Youngstown Business Incubator, and I read often about the startups that are coming out of there. What is it about Youngstown that's such a little hot spot in the Midwest going on out there? What's going on in Youngstown?
It's a lot like Pittsburgh. I really have fell in love with the city of Pittsburgh. And what makes the city, to me, different than other cities that I've traveled to is the people. And so the people of Youngstown have that blue collar work ethic. Your word a lot of times is, your handshake is as good as a contract, still kind of an old school respect. And I think a lot of it has to do with the upcoming stuff has to do with, in addition to the people, I could tell you Jim Tressel has brought a lot to the community. He's now the president at Youngstown State. He had a lot of success coaching, but his leadership and his heart has been felt. And so I think he is bringing a lot of people together and getting people excited once again to go back to, I guess, Youngstown's glory days.
That's great.
And that's inspired me to go back and try to start a youth program. And so our youth program has been open. It's Inspiring Minds Youngstown, and it started in Warren, was founded by a gentleman named Derek Tolles, who played at Penn State, was a captain there, and has had his youth program, Inspiring Minds Warren, for 10 years. They just celebrated a decade. And he and I partnered up and brought this over to Youngstown. And so we've been up and running now for over a year. And that's probably, been one of my greatest accomplishments, I guess, so to speak, is that, I heard something the other day that said that, what you do for yourself, you take with you. What you do for others, you leave behind.
So Simon, if our viewers want to learn a little bit more about Arias Agencies or Inspiring Minds, where would you direct them?
They could go to our website, which is ariasagencies.com. Also, we have a lot of activity going up right now with social media, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also Inspiring Minds would be inspiringmindsyouth.org, inspiringmindsyouth.org.
Great. Well, Simon, congratulations on your success and to all that you're bringing back to the community, and we wish you a lot more success to come, and we thank you so much for being a part of Coffee With.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And thank you for joining us on Coffee With.